at the NBA playoffs. Roll on tonight. 3 Game 2s, including Knicks and Hawks at MSG. New York looking to take a 2-0 series lead tonight. Coverage beginning at 7:30 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. Meanwhile, in baseball, the Red Sox take their Patriots Day game against the Tigers, 8-6. 8 on Rafaela and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, each driving in a pair, while John Career goes back-to-back at the Boston Marathon, posting the fastest time in event history at 2 hours, 1 minute, and 52 seconds. It's the 5th fastest marathon of all time. In the NFL, free agent quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, considering retirement, has spent the last 2 seasons with the Rams, backing up Matthew Stafford. Appeared in 3 games last season. The Rams and Stafford reportedly nearing an extension as well. The Cowboys are making Brandon Aubrey the highest-paid kicker in NFL history, agreeing on a 4-year, $28 million extension with $20 million guaranteed.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, it's NFL Draft Week, and no better way to get you ready than asking Adam Schefter what he's hearing when he joins us at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. Happy 420 day, Muse. Yeah, that was perfect.
I was about to say, when I heard it, I'm like, oh, that's just what you're looking for.
What you want. Oh, man, that was so good. Oh, man, Mr. Toby Topley. I told Muse, I said, man, you get a bong sound effect. He's over there Googling weed bong sound effect. He's like, yeah, that's the one.
I mean, I had to make sure it was what we wanted. If you just did bong, it probably would have just been a bong. Like, that would have been bad.
Good. All right. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR
really
with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Yeah, that was really good. All right. There was bad and there was worse this weekend for LSU athletics. Let's start with the good. Saturday, LSU scrimmaged in Tiger Stadium. Media was invited to watch. They ran 108 plays, and you can exhale if you're an LSU fan who has been a little dismayed by how much the offense has struggled so far in spring practice, at least through all the reports that I and others have provided, because this was a day where over those 108 plays, the offense saw 20 possessions, 8 by the ones, 8 by the twos, 4 by the threes. And in their 20 possessions, they scored 10 touchdowns. They scored touchdowns on half of their possessions. And there was a variety of sequences, starting at their own 25, starting at their own 48, starting at the plus 25, starting at their own 33, starting at their own 1-yard line. So just various different scenarios as you would see in a game, and they were scrimmaging. I mean, 11 on 11, it was a game. And, you know, it's interesting because this comes Saturday's scrimmage where the offense won the day, unquestionable. We'll get into some of the particulars here in a second. It comes 1 week after a scrimmage where the offense was thoroughly dominated, where the quarterbacks threw 5 interceptions, they lost a fumble, they missed a field goal. It was just overwhelming. So much so that when we talked to Lane Kiffin, he referred to the previous Saturday, as discouraging, how bad the offense performed against the defense. You fast forward 1 week after last Saturday's discouraging performance, Tuesday and Thursday were kind of 50-50 days where the offense punched back, and then Saturday, boom. Saturday was a day where the offense owned it. Remember, Lane Kiffin earlier in spring, this comment sent a lot of antennas up from people who were suggesting that this is Lane Kiffin sort of hedging in year one. Play this.
I told him, you can't think just because you sign the #1 portal class and you come in here that, you're going to national championship. It didn't work that way, and studied time, it didn't work that way. It didn't work that way last year with the #1 class. So because when I say there's a lot of work to do, that's not talking about years. That's not buying times, none of that. It's just saying there's a lot of work to do when you come into a program, and you've got to change a lot of things when you take over, and not just offensively, but the whole culture of a program takes some time.
It takes time. And you're seeing some of the progress already through 12 practices in spring. And remember, you're still without your starting quarterback. A few notes from Saturday. Whit Weeks was not dressed. We did start to see Whit do some in practice last week, but Saturday, jersey and a bucket hat, that was it. Tamarcus Cooley, remember, he did not practice on Thursday. We did not see him on Thursday. He was there on Saturday, went through stretch, and then took his pads off and just watched the scrimmage. He was replaced with the first team by Jace Thomas. Now, they rotated after that. We saw Fahim Delane, we saw C.J. Jim Coyley, but it was Jace Thomas who had the first reps after Cooley, when Cooley was out. No Trey Wilson. He'd been wearing the gold non-contact jersey. He was there in his gold jersey, just not participating. Trey Brown, this was interesting. He's the Old Dominion transfer. Trey Brown had a boot on his left foot. He was wearing shoulder pads and helmet. He was out there, helmet, shoulder pads, a whole nine, with a boot on. Clearly not participating, but maybe the first time I've ever seen a guy in a boot dressed out. But anyway, Lamar Brown was out there watching. We did see a little rotation on the offensive line. William Satterwhite, the Tennessee transfer who's been running second-team center, was not there, so the freshman Ryan Moret took the second-team center reps. After that, Jaquan Sprinkle and Christian Stamps were rotated at third center. Sam Levitt was out there, per the usual, just helmet, jersey, tennis shoes, not doing anything. The one notable thing on the offensive line that we saw was a little bit of a shift, and this is what you can see in spring when you can rotate and try different things. Remember, Devin Harper had been running with the first team at left guard. He's since been replaced by Bo Bordelon. So Harper went and was running left guard with the twos. Well, on Saturday, he moved from left guard to right tackle. So Darren Stray, the Kentucky transfer who had been running right tackle, kicked in and played right guard. So we've also seen Stray work on the left side of the line as well. So I don't know what this means. Probably just means they have the opportunity during spring to try guys at different spots. And so they're doing that. One thing I will remind you is that when LSU landed Harper out of the portal, all of the Ole Miss folks that cover that team, the general thought consensus there was that Harper was expected to be Ole Miss's starting right tackle this year. Transferred to LSU, had been working with the ones at left guard. Now we would see him at left guard with the twos, and now working at right tackle with the twos. So little versatility there. Also, the place kickers. Scott Starzik was 3 for 3 in the special teams session with his field goals. The other two, the walk-ons from Baton Rouge, Higgins from Parkview was 1 for 2. He missed one from 37, and let me see. I'm checking my notes. And then you also had. Hold on. I want to make sure. Let me come back. I want to make sure I have my notes right. Let me come back to that here in just a quick second. The scrimmage itself, the 108 plays, saw what I thought was encouraging was a variety of different drives. For example, first period from the ones, they ran a 14-play, 74-yard drive. They were 1st and 10 from the 25. And they went 14 plays, 74 yards. Now, that's encouraging. They overcame 2 holding penalties on the drive, a TFL on a first down, but ultimately they end up with a 1st and goal from the 6. And they go Dylan Jones for 2 yards, Dylan Jones for a yard, Husan Longstreet for a short gain. So it's 4th and goal from the 1. Feel reminiscent? They direct snap to Dylan Jones. He fumbles the direct snap and then gets stuffed short. So on one hand, they put together a beautiful 14-play drive that takes them right down the field, but they get 1st and goal from the 6 and can't score. That was disappointing. Now they went back in a very similar situation later with the ones, and they ended up with a 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line, ran the same stinking play, a direct snap to Dylan Jones, and that time he scored. It was an 8-play, 65-yard drive with the touchdown run by Dylan Jones. So that was great to see. This was the result of the possessions from the ones. 8 possessions. Turnover on downs, this is the one I just told you, when they went 74 yards and got stuffed at the 1. Downs, touchdown, punt, touchdown, 3 and out, touchdown, 3 and out, end of game. The end of game was they ran a scenario where the offense started, situationally with a minute or so left in a minute 34, no timeouts, down 5. They had to go score. They ended up getting to the 30, had to throw it into the end zone. It was incomplete. The twos in that same situation did score there at the end of the game. So that was good to see. The twos went 3 and out, touchdown, turnover on downs, touchdown, 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 punt, touchdown. The threes ran 4 possession, touchdowns, turnover on downs, pick 6, which was the only turnover of the game. Emil Picarella, 77-yard pick 6 to Craig Walton, and then touchdown. So all things considered, you had a really good day for the offense with Longstreet leading 5 touchdown drives. Landon Clark led 3 touchdown drives. There was a variety of them with both the ones and the twos, which was great to see. That Jackson Harris, the Hawaii transfer, scored 3 touchdowns on the day. I loved sort of the disparity in the length of drives. Like I mentioned, there was a 10-play, 52-yard drive where Landon Clark led that drive. Of the 10 plays, 5 were quarterback runs. It showed the ability that this team has to pop big plays and to put together long sustained drives. They had a 67-yard touchdown catch and run. They had a 58-yard touchdown catch and run by Winnie Watkins. So there were some big the 77-yard pick 6. Point being, there were big plays and there were sustained drives, which was nice to see. A few other observations. Dylan Carpenter saw a lot of time at defensive end. It wasn't all bad for the defense. There was a series where Prince Wiluman-Mielen had 2 sacks on the same drive. With the twos, Keelan Moses had sacks on consecutive plays on one series. Thought Michael Turner and Jackson Harris had a great battle all day. Mentioned Jackson Harris's 3 touchdowns. Well, there was one drive that with the twos that was a turnover on downs after on a 4th and 5. They were looking for Jackson Harris. Turner jumped the route, knocked the ball into the ground. It was a great PBU. We saw the starters replaced late, so we saw some rotation with the ones. Jordan Seat went out for the last couple of series with the ones, and so Tompkins, the Baylor transfer, got some reps at left tackle. I mentioned Jordan Ross went out, so Carpenter replaced him, got a lot of reps with the ones. So 108 plays, you can get an awful lot accomplished, and they did. Real quick, the kicker stats that I mentioned. So Gavin Higgins was 1 for 2. He missed from 37. Sean Perrette had 1 attempt from 37 and made his 1 attempt. And as I mentioned, Scott Starzik was 3 for 3 in the special teams period. So a lot of good there for LSU in all phases. They'll practice again Tuesday. They'll practice again Thursday with media availability. The last practice of spring was supposed to be Friday. They've moved that now to Saturday, and that is closed. The media does not get to watch. So I do not know. Maybe they'll do another scrimmage, a final scrimmage of spring, but whatever it may be. We'll get to watch the full practice Tuesday, Thursday, then they'll wrap up spring on Saturday with no media availability. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. By the way, our last winner from Friday, Chase Melanson, was our winner for the Purple, Gold, and Cold prize pack. The Bud Light National Champion aluminum bottles, the Bud Light LSU Baseball jersey, the koozies, the 104.5 ESPN swag. We appreciate our friends at Mockler Beverage for stepping up with a great prize pack. But you can always drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Okay, quick break, y'all. We'll come back. I'm going to put off talking about baseball being swept. We'll get to that at the top of hour number 2. David Dellucci will be here. Jake Crain next hour as well. When we come back, there is a report that the Saints and the Cardinals are discussing a trade that would send the Saints from the 8th pick to the 3rd pick. I'll give you some thoughts on that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Thinking about selling your home? Well, call Darren James and get your home sold. I'm going to give you Darren's number in just a quick second. It's Darren's cell that I'm about to give you. So, again, you're not calling an office line. You're not calling a call center. You're calling Darren James' cell. Text him whatever you want. But remember, Darren guarantees he's going to sell your home. It's called his Guaranteed Sale Program. Agree to a price in the deadline. If Darren doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash. He'll sell it for free. The bottom line is when you work with Darren James, the reason Darren is on the Wall Street Journal's list, the top 1% of realtors in America, and that's not some subjective opinion. This is like objective data. He's the number 1 realtor in Louisiana, number 13 in America on the number of homes closed. Why? He has perfected his system, his people, all of his processes to get you the results that you want fast with an incredible customer service experience. 335-7666 for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Tarina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last, because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor or the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
for the review. Presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
It should be illegal to wake up at the end of April and the temperatures be in the 40s. Can we pass a law? Aren't they in legislature right now? Can we pass a law that would make that illegal right now?
You a little cold this morning, Scone?
It was in the 40s.
Actually, thought it felt quite nice this morning. Not gonna lie, and that's coming from me, who you know me. I'm with you on the whole.
So
cold
you didn't
thing.
wake up until like noon, which is on brand for you, especially on 420 day.
I woke up well before noon. I was here before noon, well before noon.
Paul, do you think the reason that he wasn't aware it was 47 degrees this morning is because it's 420 day?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Paul, you were aware that it was 47 degrees this morning, right?
I was, yes.
Yeah. That should be illegal.
All right. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. I left the house. I thought it felt nice.
No kidding. I bet you did feel nice. Panama Red.
Thought Puff was just the name of the boy's Magic Dragon.
The Jerusalem tulip poozy. You
don't know squat about flowers. Got it.
It's draft week, and you know it's draft week because we got legitimate media outlets opining on something that Johnny Venerable said on PHNX Sports. Muse, what is PHNX Sports?
It's a Phoenix-based sports website.
Well, I could get that.
Yeah. But that's all I know. They do some podcasts. They do some print stuff. I mean, yeah.
So Johnny Venerable has 22,000 Twitter followers.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
PHNX Sports has 17,000 Twitter followers.
It's not bad.
Not good.
Not good, but it's not bad.
This isn't Schefter.
No.
It's not Ian Rappaport.
Mm-mm.
It's not Florio.
Mm-mm.
It's not Jake Glazer.
Nope.
It's not Diana Rossini. Too soon.
Yeah.
Still very credible. Very good reporter. Reputable. It's Johnny Venerable. Apparently he was doing a podcast of some sorts, and he said this.
I think they do it with the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, who last year went offensive tackle, and then, of course, on the flip side, when Tyler Shuck in the second round, I think they focus on defense. I think the Cardinals get the Saints to trade up, and the Cardinals, in exchange for the third overall pick, they get pick 8 from New Orleans, they get pick 42, and they get pick 73. So no 2027 draft capital is exchanged with New Orleans. I think that's the preference for these teams. In fact, I know it almost equals out perfectly via the trade value chart.
Okay, so there's Johnny Venerable. Shame on me for even giving this any credibility whatsoever, but I guess the old adage of believe nothing, consider everything. So let's talk about how this would look. If the Saints moved up to number 3, effectively they would go up 5 spots from 8 to 3. What he's saying there is the Saints would get the 3rd pick, and they would give Arizona number 8, number 42, and number 73. So their 1st, 2nd, and 3rd to go up 5 spots. Let me first say, with any trade, if the pick hits, then nobody ever remembers what you gave up. Like, do you remember the terms of the Kansas City Chiefs trade when they moved up to get Patrick Mahomes? Anybody? Paulie, Muse? Do you remember the terms of that offhand?
No, no clue.
You remember what the Chiefs gave up?
I do not.
Yeah. Do you think it matters?
No.
No, it doesn't matter a lick. For what it's worth, the Chiefs gave up, they went from 27 to 10. 20, that's notable, 27 to 10. Moved up 17 spots. They gave up the 27th pick, their 3rd round pick, and the next year's 1st round pick. You remember what the Falcons gave up for Julio Jones? Muse, Paulie, anybody?
No, I don't remember.
No, don't remember that?
I do not.
It was a big haul. This was a big deal when it happened back in 2011 because the Falcons gave up 5 picks. They too went from 27 up to 6. Big jump. but they gave up their first, their second, their fourth, and the next year's first and fourth. They gave up 5 picks to go up to get Julio. Do you think anybody cares? They got a Hall of Fame wide receiver who was a staple of that franchise for more than a decade. Nobody cares now, in hindsight, what they gave up to get Julio. They hit. So if the Saints give up a 1, a 2, and a 3 to go up to get a player at number 3, whomever that may be, and that player becomes a Hall of Famer, okay. No one's ever going to look back at what draft capital you gave up. Just to give you my opinion on this proposal, I am not okay with this proposal for this reason. The Saints aren't close to winning. And you need talented, young, affordable players as you're still remaking your roster, and you do that through the draft. Remember I told you both the Chiefs and the Falcons, when they made their deals, went from 27 into the top 10. The difference is when you're picking 27th, you're a playoff team. So you're a playoff team trying to add a piece that you think can get you over the hump. That is not the Saints today. The Saints haven't been to the playoffs in a half a decade. You have a young quarterback in Tyler Shuck that you think is your franchise. So if you're committed there, then build around him with talented, young, affordable players that you can get on rookie deals. And if you're picking 8 and 42, in theory, you should be picking 2 starters. Now, you can always miss. The Saints missed on Trevor Penning. They missed on who is the edge rusher from Notre Dame, whose name I've completely blocked out of my mind, who they picked 33rd or whatever it was.
Isaiah Foskey.
Foskey, yeah, him. They missed, right? He was the 40th pick? I mean, he's a high second-round pick, and they whiffed. Okay, you miss. Sometimes you hit. Sometimes your second-round pick is Stanley Jean-Baptiste. Sometimes it's a guy sometimes it's Marcus Williams, and it becomes a great starting safety for you, right? So, but for the Saints now, if they were, I guess the contrast is look at what Cincinnati just did in the trade for Dexter Lawrence. Cincinnati has their franchise quarterback. They are trying to win a championship now while Joe Burrow is in his prime window. They've paid Joe Burrow $500 million. They're trying to win. They could use the 10th pick on a defensive player that might be good in a year or 2 or 3, or they can trade that pick for a guy that's an all-pro interior defensive lineman to get better on the defensive line immediately, trying to win now. It's just different perspectives. I'm not opposed to the concept of trading up in round 1. I'm not opposed to the concept of being bullish about a guy and trusting your evaluation, going up and get him. I'm opposed to the Saints giving up their 1, 2, and 3 this year to go up 5 spots to get a player when I think a really good player is going to be there for them at 8 on a team that has a lot of needs. And then, oh, by the way, they should also be getting impact players at 42 and at 73. The one other thing I'd say that could be a bit of a contrast is you legitimately have to ask yourself the question when you're picking and you have a lot of picks, like the Saints selected 9 players a year ago. This year they have 8 draft picks. You do have to ask yourself the question, do you have enough roster spots available for 9, or in this case, 8 draft picks? Now, you're not assuming everyone is going to make the team, but if you are investing draft capital into players, they're going to have a better opportunity. You're going to give them more of an opportunity to make the team of the practice squad. So I think part of this also is looking at your roster and saying, okay, there are certain things that are solidified. Like take a Sharpie, like Tyler Shuck's on the team. Kelvin Banks is on the team. Tali Fuaga is on the team. You go down the list and you know. So how many roster spots do you actually have available? So that are up for grabs. So if you select 8 players, do you have enough roster spots to keep all 8? So I'm not even opposed to this year the Saints trading up in this draft for players they're bullish on. Just not at the top, because I think you're going to be able to get multiple guys at 8 and 42 and at 73. But if you want to package day 2 or 3 picks and move up to get guys that you feel are impact players, like if you have a second-round grade on a guy who slips to the back of round 3 or beginning of round 4, and you want to package together picks to go up and get him, okay, so you make 5 picks instead of 8, okay, if you got 5 players that you think can all make the team. So again, I'm not opposed to trading up. I'm opposed to this team in its current state still trying to build with young, affordable players to put talent around Tyler Shuck that can be good for years to come. I'm opposed to that being so aggressive in consolidating resources into one player when you have so many needs. So it's an interesting proposition. Well, I'm stunned the Saints made 9 picks a year ago because they always trade up. And I would assume at some point in this draft, they will trade up, but not from 8 to 3, even if it was to get Arvell Reese or David Bailey. I think you're going to have a great player sitting there for you at 8. If it's a receiver, if it's Mansour Delane, if it's an edge rusher like Ruben Bain, if it's Caleb Downs at safety, somebody at a great position of need for you is going to be sitting there with great value at 8. Would love to see the Saints just hang tight and make that pick. All right, it's After Further Review. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. Always love telling you about Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. You know where to find them. shawbillstire.com, shawbillstire.com. Hitting the road down in New Orleans on Friday to go down to the Zurich Classic. Hey, before you hit the road, wherever you might be going, maybe as we're getting close to summer vacations, you're planning that beach trip, make sure before you go, you get new tires at Shawbill's. Or maybe you got new tires, but it's time to have them rotated. Or maybe your wheels are vibrating. You need that alignment or whatever could be going on with your vehicle. Shawbill's can help you out. Name brand tires, wholesale prices. They treat you like family, so they keep you coming back. It's worked for them for more than 6 decades. Why not make it 6 more decades? Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service. shawbillstire.com, shawbillstire.com. Shawbill's, where we keep you rolling. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. We are going to talk a little LSU baseball. Tigers were swept this weekend, but the results of this series are probably less consequential than the comments Jay Johnson made Friday after the loss. So we'll get to that here in about 30 minutes from right now. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC and heartbreak for the LSU gymnastics squad. We'll talk about it as we continue on AFR.
AFR.
If you want to feel your best, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. Yes, they do ED treatments, but that's only part of what they do. Here's one thing that I would tell you, gents, if you are already on hormone replacement therapy, like I know so many are, I would strongly encourage you to consider switching your provider from whatever clinic you're with now to Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness for several reasons. First of all, we know that if you're buying HRT, it's a commodity. I mean, you're buying the same product. If it's Cypionate or Enanthate, whatever hormone you're taking. So why not get it at the place that's going to sell to you the cheapest and give you the best service? Well, at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, they're going to have the lowest prices and never any contracts. There is no membership fee at Goodwood because I just know some men's clinics charge a membership fee. So if you're paying a membership fee, that should be a big red flag. And then also when you do your blood labs every 6 months, Goodwood picks up that expense. They don't pass it on to you. So it's time to switch. YourGoodWood.com. YourGoodWood.com.
The Cane's Box Combo. A symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit YourGoodWood.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know hard work starts with the right equipment,
Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor with loader for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, this is the tractor built to get it done. Don't wait. This offer ends April 30th, 2026. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
This week, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge is proud to support Dreams Come True, doing our annual Radiothon, helping grant dreams for children facing life-threatening illnesses. Join us Tuesday, April 21st and Tuesday, April 28th for special power hours where your donation could also score you an incredible prize pack, including Post Malone tickets, Jazz Fest tickets, a signed Jacob Hester jersey, a signed Matt Flynn jerseys, and Raising Cane swag. Tune in, make a donation, and help us change a child's life during the Dreams Come True Radiothon. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Thanks to First American Bank and Boudreaux's Electrical, along with Chad's Collision, Subaru of Baton Rouge, Lewis Mechanical, Patient Plus, and River Parish Contractors for making it happen.
We're disappointed, but we're not defeated, and there's a difference, and that's what these kids got to understand. They got a lot to be proud of. They fought their you-know-what's off to put themselves in a position to even be in the running, and they got there, and sometimes at the end, the stars got to line up. That's an 800-pound gorilla dynasty that we're trying to climb over, and we just going to keep knocking on the door.
Jay Clark there on Saturday. Jay Clark on Saturday after LSU finishes the national runner-up in the gymnastics championship to Oklahoma. So Oklahoma wins their 8th national title, I believe, in the last 11 years. And they're a dynasty, there's no doubt. Disappointing that LSU went into the final rotation with a lead. Slight lead, but they went into the final rotation with the lead, which, of course, was balance beam. And if you weren't watching, there were, look, over the course of 4 different events and the 6 competitors, there's a lot of things that contribute to what your final score is. But in this instance, LSU had the lead, and the final 3 competitors on beam all took very, very, very slight steps on their dismounts. And those fractional deductions ultimately were the difference between LSU winning the program's 2nd national championship and finishing as a national runner-up for the 4th time. And I hate to even say it that way because obviously over the course of the 4 events, the 6 competitors each on those events, there's so many things that factor in. And it's I think common that we would all look to the very end of what happened there. But it's disappointing because it was so close. They were so close to winning the program's 2nd national championship, but came up just short. And it took some incredible efforts. Kaylin Chio, a 10 on vault, which she is just about as automatic as can be in a sport where nothing is automatic. But a great season nonetheless for Jay Clark's Tigers as they're the national runner-up, 4th time in program history. And as you heard Jay say, they'll keep climbing. Also, a hat tip to Connor McClain, who If you're not familiar, in the regional in Baton Rouge, she fell on bars. She injured herself, and it was very questionable whether or not she was even going to get to go. She competed in the semifinals. Jake Clark was on our show on Friday and said, look, if they had to go today, meaning Friday, the day after the semis, she would not have been able to go. But got treatment and was able to go there on Saturday and was outstanding as well. And Jake Clark talked about that after the meet as well.
That's a special kid. I mean, she's been through some stuff, some of it physical, some of it otherwise, and just she's, I said from the beginnings, internally a lot of times, really every team sort of has a linchpin sort of person that as they go, you go sometimes. And Connor's one of those for us. There's others, but she's a special competitor, and when she sets her jaw that she's going to do something, it's hard to talk her out of it. And so we got to get her healthy now. We get one more ride with her, and got to get her healthy.
So the Tigers will be back, and they'll be one of the favorites to win it all again next year. But it's a weird sort of conflicting emotion where you're the national runner-up and you have a great season and you're right there, but also you were so close to winning the national championship, and so there's a tinge and twinge of disappointment. But in any event, all right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400. 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways to get involved in the show, so thanks for being there with us. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Texas Longhorns.
Edge Derwin Fields has committed to Texas over Ole Miss, Georgia, Miami, and Tennessee. He was there this weekend for the Longhorns Fan Day. 6'2 and a half, 230. The number 217 overall prospect, the 21st best edge in the nation, 6th best player in Mississippi, committed to the Longhorns.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Edge Keeson Taylor has committed to Ole Miss. Chose the Rebs over Kentucky and Vanderbilt. That was his final three. 6'4", 225. He's Pete Golding's 6th commit for the class of 2027, the 26th best edge rusher in the nation, the 13th best player out of Illinois.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Auburn.
The Auburn Tigers.
That's the one. Auburn got an A-Day commitment from a 4-star tight end, George Lamons, over the weekend. 4-star tight end is the number 11 tight end in the country. Was there for the spring game this past weekend. Previously had been committed to Texas A&M, decommitted, and then now is committed to Auburn. He's number 251 overall in the country and the 25th best player in Georgia.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Basketball news is Furman transfer guard Alex Wilkins has committed to Kentucky. The former Paladin is a rising sophomore, averaged 17.8 points, nearly 18 points per game, 46% from the field, 33% from three. 6'5", 175-pounder, top 10 combo guard in the country.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
And former Boise State center Drew Fielder has committed to transfer to Alabama, 6'11", 225-pounder. He's got 1 year of eligibility remaining. Brings a lot of size to the program. Versatile big man. Was outstanding during his lone season there in Boise. Played 31 games with 29 starts. Averaged 14.7 points per game. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com at South Point Volkswagen. Hey, listen, we're getting close to graduation time. Maybe you're looking to buy a vehicle for that high school or college graduate in your life, your son, your daughter, whatever the case may be. Remember, South Point Volkswagen has awesome options. If you want a sedan, look, the Jetta is a great option. It's affordable. It's safe. It's stylish, so they'll love to drive it. You'll love the affordability and the safety. Maybe you want an SUV, the compact SUV, the Taos. You have the midsize SUV, the full-size SUV, which is the Atlas. The Crossport takes out the third row. No matter what style or type of vehicle you're looking for, they got it at South Point Volkswagen. And tell you all the time, because they move so much inventory, they have a great pre-owned selection as well. All different makes and models, not just Volkswagens. So for new or a certified pre-owned vehicle, make sure you shop South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all, it is after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Baseball Tigers were swept by Texas A&M this weekend. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes right now at the start of hour number 2. And but when we come back, there's a proposal out there that would change the start of the college football season. I'll tell you why this makes sense. We'll dive into it next on AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 and Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local over at Clegg's Nursery. And listen, it's an awesome time because every day they're getting new shipments of flowers and plants and trees and shrubs, filling those greenhouses to beautify your yard, your outdoor space during this spring and into the summer months. But I got to remind you, of course, because during this time of year, there's always unwanted pests in your lawn and your garden. Mosquitoes among them. Remember at Clegg's, they've got the Aeon Mosquito Barrier. I've been telling you about this thing for years. It's about the size of a track baton, got the granules in it. You pop the top off, fill it with water, put the top back on, shake it, hang it on your property line just like that. You're done with mosquitoes 90 days at a time. It's super affordable. It's like $30 for the box. So give it a try. I told you, we've got a pool and water behind our house. We don't have a mosquito problem. This is the only mosquito treatment we use. Buy local, shop local, Clegg's Nursery.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
I was gonna clean my room until I got high. I was gonna get up and find the broom, but then I got high. My room is still messed up, and I know why. Why, man? Yeah, cause I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high. La da 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 da. I was gonna go to class before I got high. Come on, y'all. Check it out. I could have cheated and I could have passed, but I got high.
It's Muso's day. Happy day, Muso.
Whatever you say, Scott. I wouldn't,
It's your day.
Well, that's your opinion.
I hope you have a great one today, Muse. As you celebrate.
Okay.
Your day.
Yeah. I've had better days, I'm not going to lie.
Have you?
Yeah, man. Lost an entire podcast earlier. There's a technical difficulty.
Can't imagine why.
Have to redo that.
Hey, Paulie.
No,
Hey, Paulie,
no.
you hear that? Hey, Paulie, you hear that? Muse lost an entire podcast here on 420 Day. Can't imagine how that might have happened.
Oh, man.
Stunning, right?
Very.
I'm sure it's just a coincidence that on this day, Muse happened to lose an entire podcast he had recorded.
Total coincidence.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, totally. No, of course it is, Muse. We believe you.
So that wasn't a great start to the day.
Yeah, no. What else, Muse? Yeah, you may not want to play this part. This is probably a part you don't want to play.
Yeah,
Turn that down. Turn that down.
We'll bring that down there.
Yep.
Didn't realize we got there already.
Glad somebody's paying attention, but then again, Paulie, I think we can understand why our guy might be just a little distracted today.
Just a little bit.
Little bit. Happy day, Muse.
Okay.
It's your day.
Yeah.
You're someone who would venture onto a boat.
I was waiting.
In search of a new land. It's your day.
Oh, it's not St. Patty's Day.
That's a different day altogether.
Yep.
That's Les Miles from Columbus Day. Circa 2012, 2013 maybe? 2011? Look up when that was.
All right, yeah.
I want to say it was 2012. A shot in the dark, that one, and say 2012. Anyway. I was sitting in the room, and it was as unbelievable watching it live as it still is talking about it all these years later.
2013.
13. Oh, less. There's, wrap up the hour here. We missed this at the end of last week, but it's one thing I wanted to touch on because I wanted to put it on your radar. So the NCAA Football Oversight Committee is recommending a standard start for college football before Labor Day weekend. So what is now called Week 0, the weekend before Labor Day, that would be a standardized start for the college football season, with the regular season still ending the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So schools would have 14 weeks to schedule 12 games. That would effectively allow each team 2 open dates, as they say, for flexibility for potential changes to the postseason. I think the thing we know that is most obvious here is the conference championship games are squarely in the crosshairs and very likely going to go away with an expanded college football playoff. So all of this is sort of tilling the soil for what is clearly to come, which is to say you're going to have a uniform start a week earlier for college football, which makes a lot of sense. You'd have 14 weeks to play 12 games. You get 2 byes to allow for rest, recovery, all that sort of stuff. You'll do away with conference championship games eventually, and you'll begin the playoffs that first Saturday of December, which is currently the conference championship weekend. You begin the playoffs there. In theory, you could finish your playoff system on New Year's, which you could still do all the things you want to do. You could have 2 rounds on campus. You could still evolve the current New Year's 6 games if you want to do that, if the money makes sense, how it would all go. But ultimately, this is the first domino that would need to fall. So it's what's been proposed by the college football, the NCAA Football Oversight Committee. And so if, in fact, that does pass, then we'll see that. For the proposal to become official, by the way, the Division I cabinet has to adopt the legislation. They're scheduled to meet and discuss it in June. So before the 2026 season kicks off, we could know if this is, in fact, going to be enacted for 27 and beyond. I, for one, am wholeheartedly in favor of it, as I'm sure are many of you. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. We were over at Parish, we were the title sponsor this weekend of the St. Jude Fair. Love giving back to the communities we serve. hope everyone had an awesome time out there this weekend. We love all the different ways that we can give back philanthropically, and we try to do that every chance that we can. But we also love to help our friends and neighbors. So if, as we approach storm season, you have an issue with your roof, we'd love to help you out. Free, no-obligation roofing inspection. We do repairs, replacements, gutters, soft wash, commercial, residential. Got an issue with your roof? We can help. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Let me knock out our our final break here of hour number 1. Come back, we will talk about LSU baseball being swept by Texas A&M. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Hey, if you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. You hear me say it every single day. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. They've been first in agriculture for more than 100 years, opened their doors in 1916, so 110 years ago. First South Farm Credit first opened their doors. Now, they've got branches across Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama, and they can help you buy land anywhere in the lower 48. So if you want that hunting property in Texas, your recreational property in Mississippi, maybe you want 100 acres on the North Shore in Tangipahoa Parish, maybe you work in New Orleans, but you want to live and enjoy the rural lifestyle and commute, they can help you do that. Maybe you live in the greater Baton Rouge area, or you work in Baton Rouge, you want to live in St. Francisville, some beautiful property there. You want to buy that recreational property, First South Farm Credit should be your first call. So go to FirstSouthLand.com. Online, it's FirstSouthLand.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at DecisionCriticalBR.com and give us a call today to get started.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
playoffs continue. 3 Game 2s coming tonight, including Knicks and Hawks at MSG New York, looking to take a 2-0 series lead. Coverage beginning 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio. NFL Draft Week is here. The Giants working out free agent receiver Odell Beckham Jr. this afternoon. Beckham did not play this past season. The previous year appeared in 9 games for the Dolphins, a 3-time Pro Bowler with the Giants from 2014 through 16. Meanwhile, free agent quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo considering retirement. Garoppolo has spent the last couple seasons with the Rams backing up Matthew Stafford. Appeared in 3 games during the 2025 season. Did not attempt a pass. Rams and Stafford reportedly nearing an extension as well. The Cowboys are making Brandon Aubrey the highest paid kicker in NFL history, agreeing on a 4-year, $28 million extension with $20 million guaranteed. Since joining the Cowboys, Aubrey has been named to the Pro Bowl in 3 straight seasons.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, it's NFL Draft Week, and no better way to get you ready than asking Adam Schefter what he's hearing when he joins us at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. J-Boy, 15 minutes from right now, talk some SEC football, a lot of spring games in the rearview mirror. David Dellucci in 1 hour from right now. We'll talk some SEC baseball, and not the most pleasant conversation as of right now. For the first time since 2021, which was Paul Maneri's final season in Baton Rouge, Tigers have been swept in consecutive SEC weekends. Last week, of course, at Ole Miss, and then this past weekend at home against Texas A&M. Listen, there's not a whole lot really to say about the weekend. Whether you watched it, listened to it, casually checked scores, it was pretty much what it appeared to be. You got outclassed by a much better team. LSU did not lead at any point this weekend. 3 games, they never had the lead. The bullpen and defense, which have been the shortcomings for this team for the bulk of the season, were actually really good. You committed 1 error in 3 games. It was Tanner Reeves on Sunday, making his first start in forever. You played a clean game defensively the first 2 days. Your bullpen, look, you used 8 pitchers on Friday. It was out of hand, and so you were just using your up 10, down 10 guys to get through it. You didn't want to use any of your key arms. But then Saturday and Sunday, your bullpen was great. Saturday, your bullpen did not allow a run. They gave you a chance. Sunday, Devin Sheeran went 4 1/3 of 1-run ball. He was absolutely outstanding. Marcus Paz was really good. They gave you a shot. I mean, if you told me that LSU was going to allow 5 runs to Texas A&M on Sunday, I'd have told you they'd have won that game. But against a team that came into this weekend 13th in the league in staff ERA, and on Sunday with Weston Moss pitching, after they got shelled by Missouri 3 weeks ago, you didn't score until the 8th on Sunday. You put up 2 runs. Just really disappointing all the way around. It feels like a team that's thrown in the towel, just got beaten down by a better team and didn't punch back, which is very disappointing to see. Because we have seen the fight from this team. Even a week ago against Ole Miss on Sunday when you were down 7-0, you rallied all the way back to tie the game at 7 with that 7-run 7th. And then you gave up the lead in the 8th. But in any event, really disappointing that, or I guess in the bottom of the 7th, but either way, really disappointing weekend, no doubt about it. Now you're 6-12 in the conference, and it's incredible. 10 days ago, you were 6-6, feeling okay after winning the series against Tennessee with the big comeback on Easter. 10 days ago, you're going into that game against Ole Miss on Friday night, feeling pretty good. Fast forward 10 days, you're 6 games under 500 at 6-12, and your season feels over. It's hard to mathematically find a way that feels realistic for LSU. On the road this weekend against Mississippi State. You still got a road series against Georgia. You got a home series against South Carolina, which you can win that series. And you got a home series against Florida, which has been a Jekyll and Hyde team, but they've been playing better of late. So just challenging to find a way to 13 league wins when that's where you stand presently. Needing 7 wins the rest of the way to get you to 13, 7 of your final 12 just doesn't really feel realistic considering who you have to play. But baseball, funny things happen, all that sort of stuff. More so than dissecting what happened this weekend, because it's what it is. I mean, there's just not a whole lot to say. I think the most pointed thing to come out of the weekend is what Jay Johnson said after Friday night's loss. And if most people have heard it, talked about it a bunch by now, but this is what Jay said.
I made some mistakes in constructing the team and trying to replace 2 guys that were irreplaceable, where we should have looked for replacing them through guys that were already in the program and then replaced the guys that were athletic and could play defense and be more complete players. Okay, we won't make that mistake again. The power moving forward will come from players that start their career here and develop into it like Jake has, per se, this year. But I can't do anything about that now. But what I can do is try to get them to understand, like Texas A&M, a top 5 team, won the game tonight because they hit the ball hard and low the other way. When did we do it one time? Cade Arabidi did it tonight, okay, and a 2-out RBI. But that was the one time. But when we pop up to short, ground out to short, fly ball to center field, the appearance is we're trying to do too much. And trying to do too much is not a plan or a sign of a mature offensive baseball team. And that's my responsibility. And that will get fixed.
So Jay owned it, but also in no uncertain terms said they made mistakes and their players aren't good enough. So listen, when you're Jay Johnson and you've won 2 of the last 3 national championships, you have almost an infinite amount of credit, of rope. There's nobody here that's going to criticize Jay Johnson today. He's the best coach in college baseball. And when you make a comment like that, when a season's not going well after you've won 2 of the last 3 championships, it's going to be, man, good on Jay for owning it, which I agree with. If it's a coach that wasn't having success and said that, it's always throwing his players under the bus. So it goes to show you how fans, media, everyone can interpret the same comments differently based on circumstance. But I think we all agree. Jay Johnson's the best coach in college baseball. He's giving you a very candid moment there, and he's going to do things differently and get it fixed. But if you peel back the layers of what he's saying, so we try to replace 2 guys that were irreplaceable. He's talking about Jones and Fry. And they went into the portal, and they added the all-time home run leader at Grand Canyon, and they went and added Caraway and Simpson and Dardar, and they tried to go do it that way. And in adding those guys from the portal, they saw some of their highly regarded recruits leave. Ryan Costello is now the starting first baseman at Maryland. Mikey Ryan is the starting shortstop at NC State, and they're both having outstanding seasons. Ryan's hitting nearly 330. Costello's got 13 homers. And what would you give right now for Costello to be your first baseman and Michael Ryan to be your second baseman? I don't know that this team is dramatically different, but they're better at 2 spots where they've been bad this year. And also the money that you spent on to bring in York and Dardar and Simpson and Caraway, if that money could have been allocated maybe to a top-tier pitcher or to retain your roster, are we having a different conversation? Like, could you have gotten Ethan Fry back for another year with a heavier financial spend, offered it? Maybe. If you didn't have to go give that money like you did in the portal. You see what I'm saying? It could be a very different conversation. But Jay's telling you what we've talked about here now for weeks, which is you missed in the portal, and guys that were here that left are having great seasons. So you spend all the resources you do scouting and recruiting guys throughout their high school class to sign out of the high school class. You get them here for a year, and then you have to replace guys that are gone. Instead of replacing with your guys coming up, you go into the portal. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because LSU's had a tremendous amount of success in the portal. Like, you hit on Tommy White. You hit on Michael Braswell. You hit on Daniel Dickinson. You hit on, obviously, Paul Skeens and Anthony Ianson and on Holman and Jump. Like, you've hit in the portal. This year you missed. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't utilize the portal. You should absolutely utilize the portal. And LSU's had an awesome run of success utilizing the portal. But when you miss, this is what it looks like. And that's unfortunate for this team, because you had really good players on the roster that are now gone. So going into this offseason, it'll be fascinating to see. Because you look around and you go, man, William Patrick is a heck of an athlete. You want that guy in your program. Marcos Paz, like, that guy will be a weekend arm in the SEC before his career is over. You can see the talent, the ability. You can look up and down this team. It's why we've talked about Cerna. It's why we've talked about Braun. Like, getting those guys opportunities so they stay. Like, let them develop this year. Get closer to their potential. It'll be a fascinating offseason for Jay, because you're going to have to find a way to strike that balance, to retain the incredible roster that you worked so hard to recruit for years out of high school, but supplement where you feel it's necessary out of the portal. But this has been an interesting test case, because it didn't go well this year after it had gone well each year up until this point. I mean, go back to Jacob Berry. I mean, that was a guy he had at Arizona, but still. It's the risk of going in the portal and missing. We saw with LSU basketball. They spent heavily in the portal, missed. You were 3-15. Saw with LSU football this past season. You were an injured quarterback away from being 7-6. So, it'll be a different approach to the offseason, as you heard Jay say there. How does it take shape and look? It'll be a fascinating thing to watch. But I think it's right to say you have to work on roster retention. You work so hard to recruit and develop and get these guys to campus. You got to keep them here and maximize their time in college. So how you strike that balance will be interesting to watch. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We are brought to you by Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Supper Club, y'all, they're closed today. They're closed Sunday, Monday. They'll be reopened on Tuesday. I told you this on Friday. But if you're someone who loves steak, Chef Layton does an amazing job of trying to acquire new things to add to the menu. Of course, they have their standard menu offerings, but he's always looking at different specials and ways he can bring creative, different types of things for people who love rare beef to try. And I was talking to Chef on Thursday, and they have 2 slabs of Kobe, of true Japanese, authentic Japanese Kobe beef, like with the purple chrysanthemum on the end of the slab. Like, if you've ever seen it, it's incredible. I think in the entire time they've been open, this is the second time they've ever gotten true, authentic Japanese Kobe beef. So if you have ever had Kobe beef or you want to try it, I would highly recommend you get by Supper Club in the next week, because once it's gone, it's gone. It's not a thing where you can just reorder and there's more the next day. So it's one of those things where if you want to try something truly different and special, get by Supper Club. Get your reservations at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com, or you can always just pop on in, open seating at the bar every Tuesday through Saturday. Supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here this Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. David Dellucci in about 45 minutes. We'll get Lucha's thoughts on the LSU baseball team and, of course, the SEC as a whole. We do that every Monday. We do know now what happened to Garrett Nussmeier. We'll get to that in 15 minutes when we come back. Jake Crain from Crain and Cone will join us. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions. It's Glow Resources. If you're hiring, if you're someone who hires within your business, you need Glow Resources, because Glow Resources, over the course of a year, conducts some 15,000 interviews. So they are experts at finding the right people for your business. What business? Any business. It doesn't matter if you're looking for skilled blue-collar labor or if you're looking for an office job. Their professional placement division can help with that. And they handle at Glow all of the heavy lifting. Glow Resources, when they hire an employee, they handle 401k. They handle the payroll and the paychecks. They handle cost tracking and compensation and insurance and employee records and all of the stuff. They handle all of it at Glow Resources. So what are you waiting on? Maximize productivity. Glow Resources can help. GLO, glowresources.com.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right.
You know, our friends over at River Parish Contractors, they do turnarounds too. As a matter of fact, I just got this in my inbox, my buddy Ronnie over at River Parish Contractors. They just completed a turnaround with CF Industries. It's a major, major effort that required a ton of coordination. But get this. They completed 1,367 welds with only 3 repairs. And safety. Safety performance is always at the core. 65,000 man-hours worked with 0 recordables, 0 first aids, no significant incidents. It's River Parish Contractors. They're just the best. Yet, they do turnarounds too. rpcontractors.com. Check them out online. You want to learn more? rpcontractors.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Just celebrating you today, Muse. And your favorite song.
Songs from a great movie, Meet the Parents.
What do they talk about with this song in that movie?
Well, Robert De Niro's character just likes the song. He likes Peter, Paul, and Mary. I thought it was about a little boy and his magic dragon.
Well, what is it about?
As far as I know, about a little boy and his magic dragon.
Oh, is that what you think?
That's what I think.
Why don't you ask Denny, who's been puffing the magic dragon? Jake Crain's with us. Crain and Cone every single weekday. How are you, dude?
I mean, I'm doing good. I wish there was some better walk-up music other than, like, the third song that was ever made. But, I mean, other than that, I'm doing good.
What do you have against Peter, Paul, and Mary?
There was 3 of them? God, you think 3 people come up with something a little bit like juicier than that? I mean, I don't know. Maybe just before my time, I guess.
Do I have to spell it out for you? Do you really not know?
Who Peter, Paul, and Mary? I thought that was the Bible.
Why we would play that song today?
Oh, 420. I get it.
Yeah, we're just celebrating.
Nice.
We're just celebrating Musso today on his day. This is his day.
Okay, is it 420 is his day?
It's not my day.
It's his day.
It's not my day.
It's his day.
I know what you do with your free time.
We all do. Hey, you know what? He adamantly denies all allegations. You know what he said? I said, "How's your day?" He goes, "Well, it started not great. I deleted an entire podcast that I recorded." I was like, "Oh, can't imagine why that happened."
And delete it.
Right? Oh, you just lost it?
It just
it just disappeared. Jake, it just disappeared.
Yeah, dude. I just blame everything on Iran now, so they took it.
Hey, is that why Garrett Nussmeier had a cyst on his spine?
People are talking.
I'll tell you what.
People are talking.
Those damn Iranians.
I think it's half the reason we went over there.
Hey, spring games are wrapping up around the conference. You got a big storyline takeaway so far? Anything really grab your attention?
Man, you know, Matt, the quarterback battles are always going to be the thing that everybody talks about during spring. But I don't take too much from the games. You know, it's funny. You know, you have 15, 16, 17 practices, however you go about it. You could have one quarterback totally outperform the other in 16 out of those 17, but if he has a bad spring game, everybody thinks he's terrible. So I guess I would say probably I always look, because when I was in it, deep down, if you ask any coach, the most important thing is nobody getting hurt too badly at an important position. I always look at the injuries and who, you know, suffered the worst ones. I mean, I remember last year, South Carolina's supposed to started left tackle went down in spring, I think, tore his ACL.
Yeah.
You had one of A&M's captains, you know, look like he had a bad injury. Noah Rogers from Bama, who came over from NC State, didn't look good when he went down. So as sad as it is, I look more at the injuries and really kind of how some of these transfers are fitting in. That's the main thing I take away from it.
Look, there's also interesting situations all over the conference where you have new coaches. You know, a year ago, there was no coaching turnover. This year, it feels like half the league has new coaches. Look, Auburn just wrapped up spring. Golish is interesting, especially because you're bringing Byron Brown over, so there's familiarity with the offense and the quarterback. Was there and look, LSU's going to play Auburn again this year for the first time after that game going away for a few seasons. Big takeaway from Auburn, first spring under Golish?
Man, you know, and again, without being at the practices, I mean, I know some of the coaches I've talked to them. I think it seems like the culture's changing a little bit, and really, you know, I listen to the players talk mostly, most coaches, and I don't think Golish is a huge coach speak guy, but the players will kind of let you know. And hearing Xavier Atkins talk about how last year everybody was talking about, man, if we can just be in the game in the fourth quarter, we can have a chance to win. This year we should be beating you to death by the fourth quarter, and if we're not, then something's wrong, and we'll handle it in the fourth quarter. I do think, you know, they're not just listening to Switchfoot the whole practice. I think the vibe has changed a little bit at Auburn, and, you know, I know there's some people that look at the spring game and they're like, oh, Byron Brown threw a couple interceptions. He wasn't really allowed to run. That's like telling a three-point shooter in basketball, hey, you're just going to have to drive this whole game. They're probably not going to have the best game. So I do think the culture is changing a little bit. It takes time for that truly to cement. That's why, to be honest with you, I think this is the most interesting year of Indiana, not to change the subject, because that core group that Sig took with him from JMU to Indiana is now gone. Can that culture cement in and still be the same when the core that started it is gone? So I think there's some positive things coming out of Auburn.
What about Texas A&M? It's kind of a what do you do for an encore, right? You make the playoff, and now you got to build upon it.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just in this day and age with the revolving door of rosters in the transfer portal, I mean, building culture is hard enough, but then maintaining it, I think, is harder than it's ever been. So it's going to be a really interesting case study this year.
Do you think A&M is a team that, despite what they're going to lose to the draft, even though you get Marcel Reed back, Like, is that a team that you think is prepared to take another step after making the playoffs?
I do, Matt. And again, at the end of the day, I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, well, this has happened, 2 years in a row, or this team's never done anything, so they're never going to do anything. If that was the case, then, Indiana, we just mentioned, would still be where they were at. When I look at A&M, just like I look at any team, I start up front. Because if you're good up front, you can cover a lot of things around it, even if you're mediocre. And I think with the resources that A&M has, and look, you can love them, you can hate them, Mike Elko's a hell of a football coach, and he does a great job of getting the most out of the guys that he's had, and now you put him in a place that can give him the most in return. I don't think A&M's going anywhere for a long time as long as he's there, to be honest.
You believe in the Texas hype?
I mean, again, are you saying like they're the best team in the country hype, or like a top 2 team in the country,
yeah.
or are they definitely – I mean, it's hard not to look at that roster and think that's a possibility. I mean, you add Cam Coleman to Ryan Wingo, it now gives you 2 sides of the field that are covered with guys on the outside that are going to make you bracket in 2-man. They're going to have to understand they've got to protect the deep third at all times, and that's going to open up things underneath. And I just think defensively what they have up front, again, I'll go back to the line of scrimmage, there ain't a bad player running around on that field, and they have depth. So, yeah, you get Ohio State at home this year. Arch has another year under his belt. I think Texas is going to be right there with the best of them. Hot take, I know.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, they were 9-3 last year, and there was good. There was also not good. Jake, I think it's just the reality is every team in the SEC has expectation, which means
for sure,
which means half the league is going to be disappointed. Fans who have expectations for their team to be a playoff team. It's not going to look at LSU a year ago. I mean, they got all the way up to number 3 in the country after beating Clemson. They finished 7-6. I mean, it's going to happen, especially with a 9-game league schedule. Do you have a thought on what you've seen or heard out of LSU so far in the first spring under Lane?
Well, look, I mean, to be honest with you, Matt, and I've said this a million times and told you this a million times, I don't worry about the offense with Lane Kiffin. It's the same way I don't worry about whether or not I'm going to see a fat person at a buffet. True. Right? Or if Iran's telling the truth. Like, I just, there's things that I know.
Yeah.
To me, what, and we actually talked about this on a show we recorded today. We're dropping Wednesday with David Pollack. I think this LSU team has the best chance to be the most balanced LSU team that they've had in a while. The Levitt injury obviously is a big deal. I'm going under the auspices of he's going to be fine and he's going to play. But we've seen Lane take all types of quarterbacks and do things offensively. But, if you look at LSU, what has hurt them is they haven't played complementary football. You look at the Jaden Daniels team, all-world offense, defense couldn't stop a nosebleed in a nurse's office. Well, the defense gets better under Blake Baker, and then the offense takes a step back. What I like is I look at this LSU roster, and when you pour the type of money they've poured in, you expect to see this, and I see a balanced football team all around. And balance keeps you on the beam. It allows you to win games the most ways, and those are the teams that win the most.
If you have a big question or concern about LSU this year, what is it?
Man, I would say that they get distracted because I think, as much as I love the Lane Kiffin act, I think it's great. I think it's actually good for the game. I do feel like, and I mean, heck, even in Ole Miss's best year they've ever had last year, you felt like there was a bunch of distractions because of off the field stuff with Lane saying this or doing this or whatever. But to be honest with you, if that's the biggest worry that you have going into the season, you're probably in a pretty good spot. And Lane's going to be Lane anyway, so I don't think any of the players are going to be surprised. It's just all of a sudden you come out and you beat Clemson up pretty good, and you're looking like you're cooking. That hype train's going to really, really, really start rolling, and you're going to test the maturity of this team, and that's when I'll know about this group.
Jake Crain, and Cone, make sure you subscribe there on YouTube. Look bottom half of the league. Last thing, bottom half of the league. What's a team that you think coming out of spring could be poised to make a step, make a leap?
Man, I really like what Will Stein's doing at Kentucky. It feels, I'm trying to remember what the name of that show was, where they'd like fix up a house and they'd be like, move that bus. and then they moved the bus, and like the house looks great.
Extreme
and
Makeover?
stuff.
Was that what it was?
Yes. I'm
it?
shocked you know that. I'm absolutely shocked you know. With that one
Look at
guy
me.
who
No, you know what, man? You're still in my like I have an era. Like I have an era where I was aware
you're
of.
in the Move That Bus era.
Yes, I was in the Move That Bus era, and my mom loved that show too. I mean, she was like a P1 of that show. So I was very aware of that. Maybe like when I was in high school.
Yeah. Okay. So you understand? So like I feel like Will Stein, because Kentucky with Mark Stoops was like, well, we're gonna fight you and it's gonna be ugly and we're gonna go out there and scratch and claw. With Will Stein, he's like, yeah, this is Gucci. Yeah. Oh, I mean, they're signing like number 2 quarterbacks overall. I think it's gonna be so new, and there is a benefit, and we see this in baseball a lot, in Major League Baseball. People are like, man, how did this pitcher come into the Major League Baseball in his first couple starts? He's just mowing everybody down. Well, the book isn't out on you yet. It may be out on you as an OC at Oregon and where you were, but the book with you as a head coach isn't out yet, so you can sneak a couple. So I actually think Kentucky is going to cause some problems for a guy. I would not be shocked if we looked up at the end of the year and Kentucky beat a couple teams that made the other team 9-3 and kept them out of the playoff, kind of like they did to Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin a couple years ago.
He's Jake Crain. Crain and Cone. What's for dinner?
Man, well, we're actually going on vacation tomorrow, believe it or not. Yeah, we're making – our daughter just loves red meat. She's definitely a Crain for sure. So hamburgers, steak, hot dogs, all type of stuff. She loves it. So we're going to go hamburgers, and she likes the crinkle-cut fries too. I think we're going to go with that before we head to Antigua tomorrow.
She's a champ. Love that. Hey, dude, we appreciate the time. Enjoy your vacay with the fam.
Hey, appreciate it, and happy 420 to you guys. You know what I'm saying?
There you go, Muse. Puffing the Magic Dragon over there.
There you go, baby. Ride the dragon, baby. All right, see ya.
See ya. That's Jake Crain from Crain and Cone. We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com, ARCCO, Arco.com. Hey, remember, we talk all the time about Generac home standby generators. This is not that. At Arco, it's standby generators for your business. So what happens? Storm comes, power goes out, or, because sometimes it happens here in South Louisiana on a beautiful sunny day and power just goes out. What happens to your business? Well, you can't afford to go offline. That's why Arco is here. Everything's turnkey. They can sell, service, install, rent your Generac industrial standby generator. So log on to Arco.com for more information. ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com, and they're not just in Baton Rouge. They have a giant multi-state footprint in the southeast, north to Little Rock, east to Mobile, west to San Antonio. Draw a big, giant circle. If you're anywhere in that footprint, you own a business, an industrial facility, municipality, Arco can help. ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com. All right, y'all, we're halfway home here on this Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. We're not going to break, come back. We now know, according to Tom Pelissero, what caused Garrett Nussmeier's discomfort this season. We'll react to it next and talk about what it might mean for his draft stock as well. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I had a great time on Friday. Left here, went out to Alec Box Stadium, got to hang out with the folks from Woodside Energy who were in town because they were the title sponsor of the LSU baseball game on Friday. They were kind enough to invite me to go to the game with them. And I asked them if they were in town from Houston. I asked where they're staying. Watermark, downtown, naturally. You got friends coming in from out of town, family members for a baseball game, a football game in the fall, or for a holiday or just because. Make sure they know about Watermark Baton Rouge. It is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property, gorgeous luxury hotel in downtown Baton Rouge. They took the old Louisiana National Bank building. They've added so many modern amenities while maintaining the historical significance. There's 2 great dining options there as well. Milford's on 3rd is the casual sandwich shop. Grab-and-go lunches if you're downtown as well. Of course, the Gregory's upscale dining experience there in the lobby of Watermark Baton Rouge. And always a great place to stay or host an event downtown. It's Watermark Baton Rouge.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Lockmere to Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmere to Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Help find a life-saving bone marrow donor match for Kate, an 11-year-old St. Jude patient who urgently needs a transplant. Kate has a serious TP53 mutation, and doctors say finding a bone marrow donor match as soon as possible gives her the best chance at survival. Donor drives will be held on LSU's campus Thursday, April 23rd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Friday, April 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the parade grounds and the quad. If you're between the ages of 18 and 35, you can join the National Donor Registry with a quick, cheap swab. And on Thursday, the 23rd, all of our stations will broadcast their full lineup of shows live from the LSU parade grounds. If you can't make it to campus, you can also register online through the Team Kate link at 1045ESPN.com. They'll mail you a free swab kit. Learn more and help us find Kate's match at the Donor Drive on LSU's campuses April 23rd and 24th.
Really excited about getting out there on Thursday. Would be a wonderful, wonderful day if we're able to help that family and that beautiful little girl, 11 years old, man, looking for a bone marrow match. So, excuse me. It would just be an amazing day. They had a swab event, I believe, at Ole Miss. Well, I know they had it at Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Maybe combined, or one of them had 3,000 people swabbed, and still have not found a match for that little girl. So, praying hard that a lot of very generous people come out. They go through the process to get swabbed, and hopefully we find her match and help save the little girl's life. So. We'll be out there for our full lineup of shows on Thursday at the LSU Quad, and we encourage you to come on by, get swabbed. If you can't be there, we got the link to everything in all of our social medias. You can get a kit, as Muse said, get a kit sent to you. You can get swabbed and hopefully help us find the match. If nothing else, even if you don't qualify to be a donor, maybe you can help us spread the word. It's after further review. David Dellucci will be here in about 20 minutes from right now. Well, we now know what caused Garrett Nussmeier's discomfort. And no surprise that it would happen the week of the draft, because this is when leaks like this happen every single year in advance of the draft. This is when we learn about dilute samples at the combine. This is when, gas mask videos become public, where past transgressions that from years prior become public. Look, Reuben Bain, that story about him driving the car in the fatal crash from 2 years ago is just now popping up again. It's what teams and agents do to try to affect draft stock and muddy the water. But for Garrett Nussmeier, I think most teams are well aware now by this point, after Senior Bowl, Combine, Pro Day, top 30 visits, of what's going on here with Garrett. So Tom Pelissero shared the news earlier today. Garrett Nussmeier underwent tests at the Combine that revealed a cyst on his spine, which apparently was the root cause of the oblique pain that derailed his season. Pelissero writes, the cyst was pressing on a nerve, causing discomfort in Nussmeier's oblique. He has been asymptomatic since just prior to the Senior Bowl and all throughout the draft process. If that changes down the road, Nusmire could undergo a minimally invasive procedure and miss just 2 to 3 weeks while stitches heal. So either way, doctors say no short or long-term risk for Nussmeier's projected mid-round pick in this week's NFL draft. So it was a cyst on Nussmeier's spine pressing on a nerve that caused and created the discomfort for Garrett Nussmeier. It's so interesting. I'm glad to finally know the answer and what it was, because it was pretty clear as you work through the timeline back on, in mid-August, whenever they were just going through load management, and Nussmeier was having painful episodes. But as we've talked about, doctors were running tests, and they couldn't find it. They couldn't find a tear or a strain of his oblique, ab, core. There was nothing muscular wrong with him that they could diagnose, which is why a lot of people around the program at the time were wondering, is it psychosomatic? Is it something? What is going on here? There's tests are revealing nothing. And so now we learned it was a cyst on his spine pressing on a nerve. Not to say Nussmeier was making up the pain. It was just it was perplexing, because they kept running tests and the tests weren't revealing anything. But he was clearly, saying he was in pain. And obviously there were times when he took time off and he improved. I mean, Brian Kelly, remember on September the 22nd against Southeastern, Nuss went out there and slung the ball around and looked like himself. This was Brian Kelly after that game.
Well, you saw him play versus the other teams, and you saw him that night, and I think you could see a difference in what he was doing. He was much more confident throwing the football. So, yeah, there's a couple things we can clean up, with him, and I think that's good that there's a couple, and he can continue to play better. But it's good to see him back to where he had been prior to the year, and I know he's feeling really comfortable right now.
So, he had gone through that process where time off let him get healed and healthy and feeling better, and then he would regress, and he was playing, and then obviously he had the recurrence, once they got into past the Alabama week, and then they shut him down for the remainder of the year, and then being on total rest until Senior Bowl, and then he's been asymptomatic since. So all that to say, very happy for Garrett to be asymptomatic, to be able to go through the pre-draft process and show physically what we all saw in 2024. Very disappointing that 2025 played out the way it did in his fifth year. His senior season was so much on the line and so much expectation with that team. Also, you can't help but think, what if? Had they been able to find the cyst in fall camp, could they have done the procedure that Pelissero wrote about that would have kept him out for 2 to 3 weeks to heal stitches, and then this isn't a problem, and then maybe Garrett has a great senior season? But if that happens, Brian Kelly's probably still the coach. Lane Kiffin isn't here, but then how good of a season would they have had? Don't know. I mean, it's a butterfly effect that you could play that game, how it may all play out. But for whatever it's worth right now, Jordan Reed over at ESPN put out his mock draft, and he's got Nussmeier 93rd overall to the Rams, which, man, that feels like in Sean McVay's offense, backing up Matthew Stafford. You talk about the quote-unquote gunslinger mentality, which how people describe Stafford for a lot of years. That feels like a perfect fit. And you also, I'm not sure if you saw, but Jimmy Garoppolo, who's been backing up Stafford, is contemplating retirement, which would certainly open the door for a backup quarterback option in this draft for the Rams. You'd hate to see Nusmire fall at round 3, but a guy who made a lot of money during his time at LSU, it feels like this would be more about going to the right situation, the right fit. Man, for Nusmire, if he were to go to the Rams and have an opportunity to sit behind Stafford for a year, however much longer Matthew Stafford may play in that offense, to learn and not have to be thrust into things right away, that feels like that could be a perfect situation. But the mystery is apparently now over. A cyst on the spine, which was pressing on a nerve that created the discomfort for Garrett Nussmeier in 2025. Here's hoping it's health and prosperity moving forward for Garrett and all the LSU Tigers as they move into draft week. All right, it is after further review. Speaking of that Jordan Reed mock draft, I do want to revisit that coming up in about half an hour. It's a 7-round mock, so I'll tell you what he's got the Saints doing, where the LSU guys are going, all that stuff as we're here into in a draft week. And the all of the mock drafts are flying left and right as we're into crunch time now for these teams and where these players will be spending the next years of their pro career. So we'll get into all that as we continue. All right, quick break. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. Windows, door siding. They do shutters and shades too. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. We'll do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
Rev is now Rev Fiber. RevFiber.com. 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 That's where you can get them online. Hey, look, when we're talking about Rev, remember, they are a local company that served our communities for 90 years. They have a better product, lightning fast speeds, backed by the reliability of an all-fiber network. So for your business, certainly for your home, but think about it for your business as well. How much money do you spend every month on your internet service provider, your automation, if you have cable phones? Rev can handle all of that with a better product, local service, and cheaper than what you're paying with your current internet service provider. You got to check out Rev Fiber. For your home or for your business, it's Rev Fiber, R-E-V. Go to RevFiber.com, RevFiber.com. Talk to a local Rev representative, RevFiber.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit SpineCenterLA.com.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. David Dellucci will be here in about 12 minutes from right now. Recap the weekend that was in the SEC for baseball. Obviously, disappointing for the Tigers, who were swept for the second consecutive weekend. That hasn't happened since 2021, and LSU is really up against it. The math struggles to math right now. If you're trying to find a path for LSU to get into the postseason, that benchmark baseline has typically been 13 wins. 13 SEC wins typically gets you into the postseason. For this team, that is that just feels like a real. You're gonna have to win a road series against Mississippi State or Georgia, and a home series against Florida and South Carolina, and that just feels really, really improbable at this point. So it's baseball. Strange things can happen. Pitchers can get hot, and maybe you can ride them, and maybe you'll get Cooper Moore back, and who knows, because it's baseball, and baseball's a funny game. LSU 1 point was 6-11-1 in conference, and then won 23 straight, went all the way to Omaha, but just doesn't feel probable for this team at this point. So, but we'll talk about it with David Dellucci here again in about a dozen minutes from right now. Right now, Muso is Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
The New York Giants had free agent wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. in for a workout and a physical with the team on Monday. Of course, we told you about a potential reunion between OBJ and the Giants about a month ago or so in Tigers in the Pros. He's 33 years old. He's expressed the desire to play this season and return to the team who drafted him. Of course, John Harbaugh, now with the Giants as the head coach. Note, Odell has played for John Harbaugh in the past, 2023, one season with the Ravens. The two even met with Giants ownership back at the NFL's annual meetings in March. So we'll keep you up to date. It does not appear that a signing is imminent. Giants will wait and see how the draft does play out. Major League Baseball, Sunday. Hunter Fiducia, pretty good day for him with the Rays. 1 for 3. It was a single. Drove in 2 runs in the ball game as well. Got the start at catcher. Brings his RBI total up to 4 now with those two runs driven in. Alex Bregman continues to climb out of the cellar after a slow start. 1 for 3 for the Cubbies in their extra inning win over the Mets. Also drew a walk in that ball game. Grant Taylor kind of took it on the chin a little bit for, first time this season. Inning and 2/3 in relief. Gave up 3 earned on 3 hits. Did strike out 3, and that kind of ballooned his ERA up. He's been one of the White Sox best relievers to this point in the season. And then, of course, the NBA playoffs. Those are in full swing. Sixers got destroyed by the Celtics, but Trendon Watford saw some action off the bench. Shot 3 of 4 from the field for a total of 6 points. Also grabbed a rebound in that contest. The Celtics lead that series 1-0. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Rouse's, where the truckload sale is going on right now. You want deets on it? You can get it at Rouse's.com, or at the Rouse's Facebook page. You can find a truckload of savings in the meat department. Oh, my goodness. Whole short loin, T-bone, USDA prime beef for $9.97 a pound. My goodness. Why are you still listening to me? Detour to Rouse's right now. Truckload sale going on over at Rouse's. Get all the deets at rouses.com, or on any of their social media accounts. Rouse's. This feels like home. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're spending part of your Monday with us. Hope you had an awesome weekend. It was not a great weekend for the Tigers. Obviously, the baseball Tigers got swept. The gymnastics squad, congrats to them on their national runner-up finish, but certainly a mixed bag emotionally with the disappointment of coming up just short of the program's second national championship. We are, however, heading into draft week. So it's interesting because there's a new mock draft from Jordan Reed, and a group of scouts put out their top 10, which I think is fascinating for what they're looking at for the New Orleans Saints. And the two paths are diametrically opposed with what a media member thinks and what a group of scouts think. So we'll get to that here in about 20 minutes from right now. SportsCenter's coming up. It's AFR.
AFR.
Spring is a time where we all sort of take account of our home, of our businesses. We do spring cleaning. You hear about it all the time because we all start spending more time outdoors. Well, maybe as you're making your way around your home, your business, Parish Restoration, maybe they need a call. I tell you all the time, look up at your vents, your air vents. You see little black specks around there? Well, that could be mold. Louisiana is the mold capital of the world. It's wet and it's humid. It's a breeding ground for mold. So a lot of times maybe you have condensation in certain areas and then humidity hits it, and then mold can grow there. Maybe you have mold in your walls and you're unaware of it. If you want to knock that out, Parish Restoration can do it effectively, affordably, and efficiently. They can spray your home in half a day. ParishRestoration.com. Check them out online. It's ParishRestoration.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee with $15,000 off MSRP.
Plus the 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Center.
I'm Nick Dellucci. NBA playoffs continue with 3 Game 2s. The Knicks and the Hawks tonight at MSG. Knicks took Game 1 back over the weekend and have a chance to go up 2-0 tonight. Coverage beginning 7:30 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. In the NFL, Giants worked out free agent receiver Odell Beckham Jr. this afternoon. Did not play last year. Previous year appearing in 9 games with the Dolphins, 3-time Pro Bowler with the Giants from 2014 through 16. Meanwhile, free agent quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is considering retirement. Spent the last 2 seasons with the Rams backing up Matthew Stafford. His last start, the 2024 finale, where he threw for 334 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Has played 12 seasons in the NFL. College hoops UConn guard Solo Ball set for wrist surgery and will miss all of next season. Ball will medical redshirt and return for 2027-28. Averaged 13 points per game for the national runner-up Huskies last season.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows. Matt.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Talk some SEC baseball every Monday with David Dellucci from the SEC Network, co-host of Rally Cat. Good enough to hang out with us here. How are you, Luch?
I'm doing great, Matt. Can I start this off on a positive note?
I would love that.
Before we jump into something, I want to send a shout out to Brooks Wright, former Catholic High baseball player.
Let's go.
I was on the road doing some studying, and the ESPN game came on. Brooks Wright at Southeastern hit number 1 and number 2 home runs on the year. If you're going to have a career day, you do it on an ESPN night. So that was pretty cool to watch him do that.
I love it, man. Brooks Wright, twins, twin brothers, of course, love the Wright family, great people, and happy for Brooks. That's great to hear, man. Pretty good football players, too, back in the day, Luch, as I recall.
You got to love those multi-sport athletes.
Yeah, very, and I know they didn't get their height from their dad. We'll say it to you that way. Peter's a great dude, but I don't know where the height from the twins came. But anyway, congrats to Brooks. That's great news. Not great news, of course, is LSU getting swept. Luch, give me a percentage chance of LSU making it to a regional.
Oh, it's dropping every weekend. Still got a chance. I've seen bigger comebacks. We keep going back to Florida and Ole Miss and years past. Look, they ran into a buzzsaw, man. They ran into a Texas A&M team that played really, really well. So they were hot coming off of a 2-game sweep against the University of Texas the weekend before, and LSU just couldn't solve A&M's pitching. LSU hit, I want to say, sub 200 with runners on base for the series. That's not going to get a win, and you got to see an offense on display that's probably one of the hotter offenses in the country, behind maybe North Carolina or Georgia Tech. So put that behind you. I think LSU still has a good chance. They always show up in Hoover, and if they can finish strong, there's still a lot of games left and a good showing in Hoover. They've got a chance. But what really worries me right now is an RPI at 67. So they're going to have to pull that up tremendously even if the wins are there, the RPI is going to have to climb a lot.
Well, if the wins are there with the 12 games you have remaining in conference, the RPI will cooperate. It's just a question of if you can actually get the wins at this point, Luch. There's not a very good team. You're right. LSU was 7 for 40 with runners on base. That was 175, and they were 0-59 with runners in scoring position. So you're not going to win a lot. What makes you think that is there anything you've seen that makes you believe they can find a way to get their head above water here over these final 12 games?
It is a program that has too deep of tradition to count them out. I mean, and that's the deal. And look, I mean, we all heard Jay Johnson's comments post game, and they're very valid, very valid. I think the transfer portal, you're starting to see the warts of the transfer portal, not only at this program but other programs. It doesn't solve everything, and the other, and I'm not making excuses, but we also saw Ole Miss take a tumble after they won the national championship. Mississippi State take a tumble after they won the national championship. That portal opening up, I don't think is a good time frame for that either. But it's a program that has too much pride, and I think they're going to kick it in gear. You need some leaders to stand up, to be vocal, to take positions that they normally wouldn't, and get this thing back on track. Because it's one thing to lose ball games, it's another to lose them in the fashion that the Tigers are losing them in. It's fundamental baseball that they're having trouble with right now. Wild pitches are killing them, and not being able to make the routine plays. And I think they can clean that up. They've got enough time.
Tigers go to Mississippi State, who swept South Carolina this weekend. But South Carolina and Missouri are the dredges of the league. Both got swept this weekend by Mississippi State and Oklahoma, respectively. You did have some heavyweight fights this weekend, and I was going to be fascinated to see what happened with Georgia and Arkansas. And my goodness, Luch, what Georgia did to Arkansas in Game 3 was just jaw-dropping. They scored 26 runs on them. I mean, are we just Georgia's number 5 in the country, so I don't want to say they're being disrespected or slept on, but I feel like when we talk about national contenders, maybe we don't talk about Georgia enough. Like, where do you stand on Georgia as a legitimate national championship contender?
You have to put them in the conversation, and I don't know why no one has really talked about how good they are offensively. Everybody, the excuse is always you got to have good pitching. You saw LSU last year, 2 frontline aces. Yes, they do put you in position to win ball games. Everybody talks about how big Ameritrade is, or the Chuck is at in Omaha, and how you have to be able to pitch to win ball games over there. But you got to have offense to get out of regionals and super regionals, especially if Georgia is going to host. They don't want to end their season at home like they did the last 2 years. This offense can slug with anybody in the country. I mean, Daniel Jackson is in conversations for being a potential Triple Crown winner in the SEC. Only 2 players have ever done that before. And then behind him, it's just a slew of guys that are hitting over 350, and they're going to make a run at breaking the home run record once again, 3 years in a row. And so Wes Johnson, known to be a pitching guru, has figured something out on the offensive side too. And if I'm Georgia, their starting pitching is hit or miss, but they have the offense that can cover them if the starters only give them a couple innings. It's a deep bullpen, but you know they're going to score double-digit runs every time they play somebody.
It was a road series win for the Bulldogs up in Fayetteville. For Auburn, they went on the road to Gainesville and took a series against Florida, who continues their sort of Jekyll and Hyde act this season. More impressed with Auburn, or maybe concerned Florida losing the series at home?
Florida just depends on the team in the weekend. Yeah, they're really good, very similar to LSU. Auburn, I'll tell you, is a top-notch pitching staff. Their starting rotation is extremely good. They throw strikes. We highlighted them on Rally Cap 2 weeks ago. I mean, their walks-to-strike ratio is off the chart. They're going to pound the strike zones. And that's what that program is, and what Butch Thompson has done. They don't rely on the transfer portal. They've got 3 or 4 sophomores that were good freshmen last year that's moved up to be superstars. They're being led by 3 freshmen this year. They're just really good players. They depend heavily on the starting rotation and muster up just enough offense to get the wins.
Luch, there's this clump of teams at 10-8: Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Auburn, Oklahoma, after their sweep this weekend, and then Florida. If you look at those five and I asked you, which one do you think is the most legitimate contender among those five, who would you throw out?
I'm gonna go with Mississippi State. I got a chance to watch them in person. I announced their game 2 against South Carolina, and watching Tomas Valinquez, their game 1 starter, in person was really impressive. And then calling the game with Duke Stone, game 2 starter, was equally, if not more, impressive. And when you have a 1-2 punch like that, State pitching staff struck out 44 batters on the weekend, and the 2 starters between the two were 23 strikeouts between the two. Offensively, very mature offense. Ace Reese had a great showing. Noah Sullivan had a great showing. They had a late sub, Blake Beavis, in game 2. He only went 3 for 4 with a home run, and then came back game 3, hit another home run. So they're very deep, very experienced. Brian O'Connor, he also is an extremely good coach that has been there and done that. He led Virginia to 18 NCAA appearances. So that's the team that I would really look for making that strong run into the NCAA tournament.
David Dellucci, SEC Network, co-host of Rally Cat. Catch it Sundays after all the action wraps up with the weekend that was. Luch, is there anything I'm a little perplexed on Ole Miss? Went to Knoxville, took 2 out of 3 from the Vols, a team that continues to struggle like LSU. Where are you as far as believing in Ole Miss as a team that could maybe make a run? Because the record is cooperating now.
The record is, and the pitching has been really good. They've gotten out of Hunter Elliott and also Cade Townsend, their number 2 starter. I mean, Cade Townsend is now being discussed in the pitcher of the year conversation. So those 2 guys on the mound, it gives you a chance. And we mentioned this earlier on. Ole Miss is going to have a lot of swing and miss, a lot, and you just got to deal with it if you're an Ole Miss fan. But at the same time, they're going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And Tristan Becerra and Judd Utermark are 2 behemoths at the plate, and they are absolutely on fire. So it's a team that is going to ride a hot streak. They'll have peaks and valleys, but right now they're on a hot streak. And you know, the guys that really watch this sport are talking about maybe the Rebels ending up in Omaha again. I think if they stay hot, they have that kind of firepower on offense.
He's David Dellucci, good enough to talk a little SEC baseball with us here every Monday on AFR. Luch, we always appreciate you, man. Thanks for the time.
Yep, thanks for having me.
All right, man. Be well. It is After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. No matter your age or your refractive issue, tell you all the time, just book an appointment. Just book an appointment. And what's so impressive as well is when you talk to Dr. Blake, he's going to come up with a plan for you specifically that can last the rest of your life. You'll talk about, okay, like for me, I had LASIK, it's been almost 8 years now. And sometimes people say, well, LASIK wears off. No, it doesn't. LASIK changes the shape of your eye, but it only affects about 10% of your eye. So your eye will continue to age. So you'll have other issues that could pop up. Well, if you have LASIK now, what's something that if your eye starts to age, what's something that might be an option in 5 or 10 or 20 years down the line that could help keep you out of contacts and glasses forever? Like, that's going to be my approach. So that's why I always say, no matter your age or your refractive issue, there is an option for you to be able to ditch the contacts and glasses and to just see 2020. Dr. Blake Williamson makes that happen every single day for people in our communities. WilliamsonEye.com, WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. NFL Draft is this weekend. Jordan Reed at ESPN put out his final mock draft. It's a 7-round mock draft, and it's so interesting to look at that and to compare and contrast it with what a group of scouts projected as their top 10 picks in this draft. We'll get to that as we continue here. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
I think it should be illegal for temperatures to be in the 40s in late April. We should pass that law at the legislature. It's time for us to be swimming in our pools from Duplessis Pools. That's what we should be doing right now. Not putting on long sleeves in the morning. Puh! In the meantime, we can dream. And Duplessis Pools helps make your dreams reality. Step out into your outdoor space. You want a pool? Duplessis Pools can make that happen. Last year, they were voted a top 50 pool builder in America, not in Baton Rouge, not in Louisiana, in the entire United States of America, because of the quality, the level of customer service that they provide. A lot of people will build you a beautiful pool that will last with a great customer service experience. DuplessisBuilders.net.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes, because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know hard work starts with the right equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025 e-tractor with loader for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, this is the tractor built to get it done. Don't wait. This offer ends April 30th, 2026. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Last dance with Mary Jane. One more time to kill the pain.
It's interesting that her name is Mary Jane. That's why it's interesting. It's just the lady's name, that's all.
Good name, too. I like that name. Mary Jane.
I bet you do, Panama
MJ.
Red. Musso's having himself a great day. After all, it's his day.
It's just a Monday, Matt. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
It's just a Monday.
Draft week. They had over at ESPN.com, they asked anonymously a group of scouts to predict the first 10 picks of the draft. So for example, they said like an AFC East area scout has Fernando Mendoza going to the Raiders. Then an AFC South area scout, taking Arvell Reese 2 with the Jets. If you're not familiar, like every organization has area scouts, right? So this is true in all sports. So it says AFC South area scout. So an AFC South team, one of those four, they'll have area scouts. Some might have the Southeast, or some may have the Northwest, or whatever. So that's your area. So you scout high school talent or college talent or JUCO or whatever. And so they asked all these people to anonymously select the top 10 picks. David Bailey, 3 to the Cardinals. Jeremiah Love, 4 to the Titans. Carnell Tate, 5 to the Giants. Francis Maui-Noah, 6 to the Browns. Sonny Styles, 7 to Washington. And I thought this was fascinating for New Orleans. So this was an AFC area scout who had the Saints going cornerback at 8, but not Mansour Delane. Jermon McCoy of Tennessee, 8, as the pick for the New Orleans Saints. They note that the Saints' top 3 needs are edge rusher, wide receiver, and cornerback. And they have the Saints going with McCoy. The scout said, quote, "Rarely do you find true blue-chip cornerbacks, and when one falls to you, it's an easy decision to take them off the board." He writes, "So I'll take McCoy with the belief that his knee is good long-term, and he'll be back to the player we saw in 2024 when he was the best cornerback in the nation." If you're not familiar, McCoy tore his ACL last January, missed the entire season while rehabbing. So that is a bit of a leap of faith there if you would go McCoy, having not played this past season, over Mansour Delane. By the way, they had Ruben Bain going 9 to the Chiefs, and then Caleb Downs 10 to the Bengals, which is a good illustration of how a draft can unfold, because I think overwhelmingly most people assume Caleb Downs is one of the 10 best players in the draft and will likely be a top 10 pick. Now, you don't often see safety as a premium position. So it's rare that you see a safety go in the top 10. It would have to literally be someone like Jamal Adams that is a transcendent player at that position, because there isn't great positional value, almost like interior offensive linemen. You just don't often see interior offensive linemen go in the top 10s. You see quarterbacks and edge rushers and left tackles and elite level cornerbacks. That's typically what you see go in the top 10. So interesting to see what may happen. It's why I look at New Orleans at 8, and I'm excited about the Saints if they're patient and let the draft come to them, because there's going to be a player, an elite player at a great position of need that'll be on the board for New Orleans, possibly multiple players at their positions of need. So with that context, from a scout's context, then you look at what Jordan Reed in his final mock draft from ESPN, your draft analysts. Everyone's got Mendoza going 1, Arvell Reese 2, Francis Maui-Noah 3, David Bailey 4, Sonny Styles 5 to the Giants. There's Carnell Tate 6 to Cleveland. Keep in mind, Jeremiah Love, according to this mock draft, still not off the board, but they do take him off the board at 7 to the Washington Commanders. Would be fascinating to see if that would in fact play out. And Jordan Reed does have the Saints also going cornerback, except he has the Saints going Mansour Delane with the 8th pick, and Ruben Bain a pick later to the Chiefs. So this is, to me, why I think the Saints are in an incredible spot. Because if you look at these consecutive picks that Jordan Reed has on the board, Delane 8 to the Saints, Bain 9 to the Chiefs, and then Downs 10 to the Giants in the pick they got from Cincinnati in the trade for Dexter Lawrence. Any one of those, this is my point, any one of those 3 players, if New Orleans writes Mansour Delane, Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs on the card and turns it in, I'm pumped. Because you need an elite level corner. Talked about that for 2 years now as you've watched Paulson Adebo go to the Giants. Now you've seen Alontae Taylor leave in free agency. You drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry, who I think is a good player, but not an elite number 1 corner. I think he's a very good number 2 corner. But you need your guy who, what Marshawn Lattimore was for this franchise for almost a decade. Whenever you go out there and you're playing Seattle and there's JSN, who's got him? Boom. It was for a decade, almost a decade, that was Marshawn Lattimore's job. He had Julio Jones. He had Mike Evans. Like, that's your job. Go guard the other team's best guy. Like, I don't have confidence in Kool-Aid McKinstry's ability to do that. I think he's a very good starting corner. I don't think he's your number one. Like, no one's going to put him in a category with Derek Stingley. So, can Mansour Delane be that? If you draft him 8th overall, you're drafting him to be that. If you decide to go Ruben Bain, great. If you're sold on him and the short arms, that's not an issue for you throughout your scouting and your evaluation, and you go Ruben Bain and you get an elite level edge rusher to play opposite Chase Young because Cam Jordan's old and might not be back in New Orleans, and you have a spot there for a guy that can be maybe a plug-and-play or a rotational guy as a rookie that's going to be an impact guy, maybe a player at that position for a long time for you. You have Carl Granderson, but Granderson had a really disappointing season this past year. And you pick Bain, fired up. Let's go. If you take Caleb Downs at 8 overall, and he might be one of the top 2-3 best players in this draft, regardless of position, and you get him at 8, and you have a guy that's a starting safety, a difference maker on the back end of your defense, awesome. I guess it's why I look at this draft and picking 8th feels like a really good spot because you have a lot of needs, and with the players that are going to come off the board ahead of you, knowing that Jeremiah Love's most likely going to come off the board, you know that Mendoza is going to come off the board. Even if one of the offensive tackles doesn't, which one of them likely will, you're going to have players that you covet that'll be there for you. So it's a really exciting prospect about going into this draft with that approach, knowing what's there. The one thing that I think will be a fascinating conversation that could unfold. Now, in neither of the mock drafts that we just went through, neither of those is a scenario because both of them had Carnell Tate coming off the board before the Saints picked, is what if Tate is there? What if you have the decision of going Carnell Tate or the elite defensive player? From my perspective, I think you look at two things. Number one, which player do you have rated highest on your board? Is it Tate or is it one of the defensive players? Like if you have Tate as the 5th best player in the draft and you have Delane as 10 and Bain is 11 and Downs maybe is 7. Do you take the guy who you have as the 5th best player? Or do you go with the defensive guy because it's a deep receiver draft and you think you can get great value at receiver in round 2? Because this is what's interesting about this mock draft from Jordan Reed, right? It's a 7-round mock. So while he's got the Saints going cornerback with Mansour Delane there at 8, at 42, he's got the Saints taking Gabe Yakas, an edge from Illinois. So Saints apparently like him, and he's a guy that could very well be there, but that's back-to-back defense. So where do you go offense? Well, Jordan Reed has the Saints going offense in round 3 with Zachariah Branch, the wide receiver out of Georgia with the 73rd pick. Now, that would feel like great value. You got a speedster, a true, blow the top off deep threat in Zachariah Branch, who started at USC, went to Georgia, now going into the draft. But my question about Branch is one that I've brought up when you had Olave and Shaheed and then went and signed Brandon Cooks. It's a bunch of dudes under 6 feet tall. I want a big, explosive target, which is why I think Carnell Tate is more intriguing, which is why if I'm sitting there at 8 and I have the opportunity to get 6'2", 210-pound Carnell Tate who can fly and has size, that's where I'm going. If Tate's on the board. If Tate's not on the board, I'm good with whichever player they think is the best defensive player on the board in the draft at the time. I just pray. I pray that Jeremiah Love is off the board. You can roll your eyes, you can laugh, because I know they signed H.N. But I don't want Mickey Loomis tempted. And remember, the Saints restructured Alvin Kamara's contract with an eye on moving on from him this offseason. It's why they structured it the way that they did. And they may already be prepared to do that with the H.N. deal. But go tempt them with Jeremiah Love at 8. Please, God, don't let that happen. You want to see me melt? You want to see a full-on red-faced scone rant? And I'm going to be, and by the way, Friday, I'll be doing my show at Zurich Classic. We do that every other Friday at Zurich at the Walk-Ons tent. You want to see a full-on rant? You can have a bunch of pros, a bunch of professional golfers on 17, par 3, at the green, trying to putt while I'm yelling my face off. You will see full-on meltdown scone rant if somehow the Saints screw this up and end up taking Jeremiah Love. I kind of want that to happen just so I can do the rant. I don't want that to happen because I love my team and I want them to be successful. But I also would not be fall over stunned if Mickey Loomis did something that's stupid, like pay a running back $54 million and then go draft a running back in the top 10. It's after further review. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door siding, shutters and shades, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, it's after further review. Got 2 segments to go. Jimmy's here in 15 minutes for Otterlocks. LSU is keeping an eye on a commitment that is expected to come in about an hour or so. We'll talk about that as we continue here on AFR.
After further review.
Yeah, I know. It was 47 degrees this morning, which is just absurd. It's April 20th. Bring on the heat. Bring on River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. Remember, big yellow vans and trucks all over town. You see them everywhere. Giant clock on the side. It's River City's 1 hour air. If you have not yet had your preseason AC tune-up, it's time. If you didn't do it last year, or you can't remember the last time, don't just ignore it, pretending like it's not going to be a problem. Oh, we're fine. This is how little issues compound and become very big, very expensive issues. It's preventative maintenance. You wouldn't drive across the country without getting your oil changed, your tires rotated. Don't go through the summer without getting your AC checked. River City's 1 hour air.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
Coach is tough on us about preparation, and Paris brings that same championship mindset. Do business with someone you know.
Paris Construction and Roofing.
ParisGroup.com. At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Go
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Big story over the weekend, Cincinnati Bengals trading the 10th overall pick to the Giants for Dexter Lawrence. It's interesting because the Giants had kind of had Dexter Lawrence. They were shopping him to see what they were going to be able to get, and they finally, here the week of the draft, found a trading partner. And Lawrence is certainly an accomplished defensive lineman. He's 28 years old. Of course, we know he's out of Southern Cal, and he has been massively disruptive. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's 2-time second-team All-Pro. He had a 9.5 sack season. Forgive me, I said something out of Clemson. Forgive me, sorry. He was the he was on the All-Rookie team. I mean, he's a dominant interior player. So I know there's a lot of people looking at this, and everyone, whenever we look at a trade, you always want to look and say, well, who won the trade? And it's incomplete because we don't know what the Giants are going to do with the pick. But I think what this is illustrative of is two organizations that are just very different positions. The Cincinnati Bengals picking 10th. Typically, if you're picking 10th, it's because you stink and you're not competitive. Well, the Bengals, you put a big asterisk next to it because the reason they stunk this past year is because their franchise quarterback got hurt. But Cincinnati is looking at their organization right now with a quarterback in whom they invested $500 million, and they're trying to win a championship in that window with Joe Burrow in his prime. And their defense last year was an atrocity. And Trey Hendrickson is gone now, and so they need immediate impact guys. Well, look at it this way. If you are trying to win right now with your starting quarterback, who's coming off an injury that cost him the chunk of the season, a year after he was a legitimate MVP candidate, are you more likely to find an immediate impact guy by selecting 10th overall, not knowing what player is going to be available there to you, or going with a certainty of a disruptive 6'4", 340-pound interior defensive lineman who has already had a 9.5 sack season from his interior defensive line position, who's in his physical prime, has 2 years left on his contract. You make the deal, and you extend him a year, so he has 3 years left, so you have him into his age 31-year season. Like, what is going to help you win in 2026? An unknown with the 10th pick, or a proven disruptive interior defensive lineman at 28 years old? It's pretty obvious. That 10th overall pick might be a better long-term value, depending if you hit. But Dexter Lawrence, if you're Cincinnati, has a better chance of helping you win in 2026. Flip it. If you're the Giants, you've had Dexter Lawrence on your team, and you stink. You've got a young quarterback entering his second year in the NFL. You have a new head coach, new organizational structure, and you need to build around your young quarterback. Well, what's going to give you more value? A 28-year-old interior defensive lineman who has 2 years left on his contract, or the opportunity to get a second top 10 pick in this draft. So now you can get 2 top 10 players who effectively become 2 starting players for you on rookie deals that become more affordable because inevitably soon you're going to have to end up paying your starting quarterback. They both work. Both make sense. I don't think either team lost. Now, the onus is on the Giants to make good on that pick, to use the 5th and the 10th pick to address needs and get value and get starting players that are going to grow into this organization with a new head coach and a young quarterback. Similarly, it's on Dexter Lawrence to make the Bengals look smart in getting him by helping improve a defense, which was atrocious a year ago, and helping that franchise get back to a Super Bowl under Joe Burrow, which is why they made this trade. I mean, we existed in this reality for half a decade in New Orleans with Drew Brees, where the Saints were in perennial, we talked about it, they were in perennial win-now mode. Brees was nearing the end. That window was closing. They were singularly focused on, we're not worried about the future. We're not worried about the salary cap. We're just worried about putting the best team around Drew Brees possible to help him win another championship before he rides off into the sunset. And boy, they got close. And they had some miserable luck in the postseason and had some absolutely rip your heart out and stomp on it on the ground losses. It didn't happen. But they were all in. That's where the Bengals are. The Bengals are all in the immediacy to try to win with Joe Burrow. They've seen him be injured already several times. Before that window with Joe Burrow closes, a guy they got $500 million invested in, they want to give him the best chance to win. Well, how do you do that? Well, they had to rebuild the offensive line, which they spent a couple of years doing, and they were better last year. And now you got to go improve your defense, which was one of the worst in the NFL last year. This helps you, in theory, improve immediately on your defense. So I get it. I get why both teams are interested in this trade. For the New Orleans Saints, it's why we talked earlier, where there's this idea rolling around. It was, some Arizona guy reported that the Saints and Cardinals have talked about the Saints moving up from 8 to 3. I'm not in favor of that because the deal that was proposed was the Saints giving up the 8th pick, the 42nd pick, and the 73rd pick. So they're 1, 2, and 3 to move up to the 3rd pick in the draft. And maybe you get an impact guy, but that's one player. I'd rather get 3 impact players on a roster on a team that you are rebuilding, and you need to rebuild with young, inexpensive players for the draft. I would rather keep those 3 picks and hopefully hit on 3 starting caliber players, contributing caliber players, than 1. Just me. We'll see how it plays out this week. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Hey, y'all, Mother's Day, gents, is just around the bend. For all the reasons that mom deserves our love, respect, admiration, show her on Mother's Day with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All the carpool runs, all the dinners she's cooked, the super mom that she is, maybe working and taking care of the kids at home and everything that moms do, show her this Mother's Day. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and always online at lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Just a heads up, something to be on the lookout for. Braylon Calais, the athlete out of Cecilia, is set to make his announcement. He's set to make his commitment here within the next hour and a half, sometime between 6:30, 7 o'clock Central Time tonight. He's set to announce. Calais, if you're not familiar, 6'2", 200-pound athlete out of Cecilia. He does project as a wide receiver at the next level, and he's going to be making his college announcement, and it is thought to be LSU as the choice. Shea Dixon was with us on Tuesday for our weekly recruiting segment. This is what Shea said about Calais.
One of my favorite players in Louisiana in this class, and he's a top 10 kid in Louisiana, ranked as a top 5 athlete by Rivals, the industry rankings, in this 2027 class. Top 125 overall player in the country, regardless of position, and LSU likes him at receiver. He's got a final 6, is what he told Hayes Fawcett. It's been an LSU Ole Miss battle, and it's a benefit to LSU, yes, mostly that he's from Louisiana, but that now the staff that's recruiting him, George McDonald, the receivers coach, Lane, they were already recruiting him while at Ole Miss. He's talked about that relationship just becoming a lot stronger. Ole Miss, Frank Wilson, they want him badly. I can't see this one not going LSU's way right now.
So Shea predicted Calais to LSU. The commitment is coming up this evening. It is interesting if you look at Braylon Calais' primary recruiters when he was at Ole Miss. His primary recruiter was George McDonald. The secondary recruiter was Charlie Weiss. Well, both George McDonald and Charlie Weiss are now at LSU. So you have the sort of double whammy of a guy that is an Under Armour All-American who is from Louisiana, has the LSU offer, and the staff that he really liked at Ole Miss is now at LSU. Hard to think this goes any way other than LSU. And remember last week, Lane Kiffin did put out the little tiger emoji, which sort of signifies a commitment. It stands to reason this is what he was pointing towards. So Tigers got a commitment on Friday from a receiver for the class of 2027, and they may very well add a second receiver commit for the class of 2027. So if, in fact, Calais does pull the trigger, we'll talk about it in more detail tomorrow. Shea will be here on Tuesday's show for his weekly visit. We'll recap. It was a busy recruiting weekend. There were a dozen official visitors on campus, a lot of really big-time offensive line prospects, but a big opportunity for LSU to keep one of the top prospects in the state of Louisiana, the number 6 prospect in the state for the class of 2027. Braylon Calais, again, going to commit this evening, so be on the lookout. When that news does become official, we'll have it for you over at LouisianaSports.net, where, of course, everything is always free, LouisianaSports.net. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Let me knock out our final break of the show. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Come back. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks. We'll find out what we're betting on tonight. Stick around for AFR.
AFR.
Okay, you got about a week left, a little more than a week left, to enter the Gordon's Grads laptop giveaway. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys giving away 15 laptops or MacBooks to graduating Louisiana high school seniors that are going to a 2 or 4 year college or a trade school. It's really easy if you want to enter. Go to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com. One more time, gordonsgrads.com. Go to the website. You see all the info on how you can enter. There's multiple ways that you can enter, but maybe it's your son or daughter. Maybe it's you. Maybe lots of young people love the show. Thanks for being out there. But maybe it's your son or daughter, niece, nephew, grandson, granddaughter, friend, neighbor. If you know a graduating Louisiana high school senior, make sure they're aware of the Gordon's Grads program and how they can win a laptop to give them sort of a leg up as they go on to the next phase of their academic career. GordonsGrads.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit SpineCenterLA.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. One thing left to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, what up? Yo, Otter, what up?
What's up, Matthew?
Another day, another dollar, man. How are you?
Doing good, man. Had a good weekend. Good weekend.
Love to hear that. NBA playoffs are here. Watched the Magic and the Pistons last night. Good game.
Right.
The benefit of hitting with your pick at the top of the draft, right? With Cunningham and Boncaro.
Yes. Yeah, that helps. So, it's the Magic is the only real story of the first weekend because all the other games were won by the home teams. 9 out of 10, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, won and cut straight up and against the spread by the home teams. And, finally in the ninth game, it was Orlando. So Orlando was the dog on Friday night. We had them on Friday on the show. And first 1-8 matchup where the 1 seed never led for the first game. Never led at any point in the game. Let's go to it tonight. We're going to go back to one that we had on Saturday. I gave it out to Knicks. Love this matchup for the Knicks. We laid the 5.5. They covered easily, won by double digits. And Karl Anthony Towns, the biggest headache for the Hawks, kind of played okay. Final box score was fine, but he's going to have a monster night again tonight. He was lukewarm and still put up like 25 and 12. Take the Knicks minus the 6.5 against the Hawks. I am seeing some sixes creeping around right now, so a little bit of movement before tip, about an hour and 10 minutes out. The other game is Minnesota and Denver. Minnesota, this game was actually 2 very late in the game before Denver pulled away. Minnesota actually had a first half double-digit lead. We think they can match up with them, although Anthony Edwards is less than 100%. We're taking the T-Wolves plus the 7.5 in that one for your 2 NBA games.
Okay. And a couple on the diamond?
Yeah, one of the more disappointing teams in Major League Baseball, the Royals, but we're going to go with them because the centenary gent product, Mr. Seth Lugo's on the mound, and he is doing all they could. It's a buy low spot here at home, minus 105 against the Orioles. We have a losing record as well at 10 and 12. We're going to take the Royals minus 102. And then the last pick we have...
Angels.
The Angels. One of my favorite new teams to bet this year. Right around 500, but that lineup is really good. Trout is on fire. Adele is busting out, man. The third baseman who bats cleanup is really good. Good pitcher tonight. We're going to take him at a very short price at home tonight. The Angels on the money line.
Angels are, it's actually moved a bit, Otter. Minus 105 now. When gave it on the side, it was at plus 100. So, still a good number. So, but action moving toward the Angels there. Where are you tomorrow?
We're at Mike Anderson's, the Burnside Salad. Yes, indeed.
Never a bad option. All right, 4 plays tonight. The Knicks and the T-Wolves on the hardwood, Angels and Royals on the diamond. Thank you, Otter.
Good luck.
All right, man. Thanks. We'll see you. It's After Further Review. Always love telling you about Evamore, E-V-A-M-O-R. Been a great partner, great Louisiana company. Evamore.com, Evamore.com. You want to find where great local retailers, where you can buy Evamore near you, even if you're outside of Louisiana. It's a product with national distribution. I've had AFR listeners, LSU alums, grads who live all over the country tell me, hey, man, I hear you talk about Evamore when I listen or watch on YouTube. Popped into the local, whatever, grocery store, 7-Eleven, and saw Evamore. Yeah, national distribution. and it's bottled right there in Covington on the North Shore. It's where that natural artesian well is. The bottling plant's built around the well. You pull onto the property, you see it right there. It's a healthier alternative. It's natural artesian water. The source matters, as they say. So check it out. Buy it online, evamore.com. Find the great local retailer where you can find Evamore. EVAMOR, evamore.com, evamore.com. All right, y'all, just about going to do it for us here today. We gave you our LSU football scrimmage recap from Saturday. Talked about the Saints, the rumors about them possibly trading up with Cardinals. J-Boy, Jake Crain was here last hour. David Dellucci just a bit ago as well. And we're keeping an eye tonight on Braylon Calais. In just about a half an hour or so, expect to announce his commitment. We are anticipating it will be LSU. Shay will be here on the show tomorrow. LSU's back on the practice field. 3 practices to go in spring. It is open availability for the media, so be there. Lane Kiffin speaks to reporters tomorrow, so have a ton of LSU football on Tuesday's AFR, so we'll look for you there. All right, just about going to do it for us as we get on down the road. Muse Pauly, thanks. Y'all have an awesome night. Shout out to Relief Windows as always. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
And as we get on down the road, we remind you about Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU together, we roar. Our Lady of the Lake's been such an amazing partner of not only LSU Athletics, but LSU as a whole. Announced last week, the ribbon cutting on the new science facility there on LSU's campus in partnership with Our Lady of the Lake and FMOL Health. And, of course, all across Louisiana, nearly everybody in our state, be it at one of the hospitals, clinics, urgent cares, whatever it may be, is touched by Our Lady of the Lake and chooses the lake. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's where you can learn more information about the Championship Health Partnership. But you don't have to be a world-class athlete at LSU. Everyday champions like you and me trust the lake for our health. I'm in that number, and you should be as well. You can learn more. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long.
In the grind, the focus, and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.